Day one.
Like you guessed, my personality was in Shoko, Renju's ex-wife. That made calling Renju easy. I need to talk to you about something. He came over without question. I think it was around 4 p.m. I had him meet me at the chemical plant. I made Renju go to sleep. Synced. Switched personalities. And then stabbed Shoko's discarded body with an ice pick. I took Shoko to Bloom Park by car, using the old abandoned subway line. Must have been around 8 p.m. by the time I was finished.
Also, I think I was right with the eye thing during Iris's route.
I tied up Shoko to one of the merry-go-round horses.
I think I was right on the money.
After that, I used Renju's phone to send a Nile message to Mizuki.
Yep.
Then, I just waited for Mizuki to arrive.
But day two.
Until next Saturday evening, my personality was inside Renju. My next target was Iris. I knew she would be suspicious if I asked her to come to Kawasaki, so I asked her to come to Sunfish Pocket first. I called her a little before 5 p.m., and she arrived just after 6. I greeted her, then convinced her to come with me. That's when Ota saw us. Anyway, I put her in the car, then headed to the chemical plant. On the way, I made her take a sleeping pill. I knew she might run once she saw where we were going. It was around 7 p.m. when I got there, and I wasted no time switching bodies. After getting Iris's body, I used a rolled-up apron to strangle Renju to death. Then I put his body in an empty oil drum I'd prepared earlier. I put that in the trunk of the car, then headed to Sunfish Pocket. But then, something I didn't anticipate happened. Waiting for the signal in Akiba, someone knocked on the window of the car. It was Ota. He asked me something about being able to drive. He was surprised, to say the least. I didn't have time to waste on him. But I couldn't risk him finding the oil drum in the trunk. Plus, if word got around that Renji's car was spotted driving around Akiba, that would foil my plans. So, I came up with a lie. I told him that I didn't have a license, so he had to keep it a secret. That's what that thing referred to in Ota's Nile messages, by the way. And just like that, I managed to escape a bad situation and headed to Sunfish Pocket as planned.
See, now this is what I was hoping for.
The rest went exactly as you already figured out.
What about day 3?
Sunday morning, I had a recording or some such thing scheduled.
Alright, cool.
Oh, I am of course referring to Iris. I didn't want to draw suspicion, so I decided to attend as planned. I went to Lemniscate and performed my job, and when I left, I ran into you, Date. To be honest, I was a little surprised. Just the previous night, I was a parasite in the body of Renju. I didn't think Ota had seen me. So, of course, I didn't expect to see you there so soon. You were on to me, but there was nothing I could do about that. If I ran, it would only increase your suspicion. So I decided to play my role. The interrogation began around 8:20 p.m., is that right? Then you synced into my mind. But you didn't get what you were looking for, did you? As a result, you had no choice but to release me. I didn't want to go home right away. I knew there might be police waiting for me. That would make it difficult to sneak out at night. And that would put my plan in jeopardy. So I asked you to take me to Marble. I tried to find an opportunity to run, but then another unexpected event occurred.
Oh yeah, that's right. Fucking Ota.
I got a Nile message from Ota. I knew I could use him, so I told him I needed his help and to meet me at Marble. He did as I instructed him to do. After that, I got into the van with Ota. But because his presence was unnecessary, I asked him to stop at a convenience store to buy me something to drink. When he was gone, I took his car and drove to my parents' house where I used to live. Yes, the Sajima residence. Of course, I knew I couldn't just walk up and ring the doorbell. Hello, Father, it's been a long time. I was also in Iris's body at the time. But I thought I could use that to my advantage. So I pushed on the intercom and sure enough, my dad invited me inside. I told him this. I want you to come with me. There's something I need to show you. He was quiet for a while, but eventually agreed and got into the van with me. We arrived at the prototype sync machine around 11:50 p.m.
So wait. Wait a second. Who was the first mother? Cause if... Wait. Okay. Yeah, who would be Saito's mom?
By the time I was in the body of Sosajima, it was a new day.
What about day 4?
There isn't much to talk about on Monday. Before noon, I used my old man's body to call this one Boss. You might not know this, but she and my father go back about 6 years. The two shared a terrible secret. Hinting at that was enough to get the boss to come running to me immediately. I injected her with a sedative, then brought her body to the chemical plant. I synced with her, exchanged our bodies. And after blowing my father's brains out, I cut his body into pieces. I stuffed the meat into a vase I'd brought earlier, then drove back to my house. This was yesterday, early Monday morning, past midnight. In my new body, I drugged Iris, put her in the van, and drove to a new location, Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse. I arrived around 1, then prepared for the show for a couple hours. Of course, when I say show, I mean dismembering Iris. Because of the temperature in the warehouse, it took longer than I expected to prepare, but... well, you saw it in the video. Of course. I didn't anticipate Ota would show up. What does that make it? 3 times that brat has showed up unexpectedly? That annoyed me to no end, and I took that out on him. Dressing him up in the polar bear was an impromptu plan on my part. I didn't mean to make you think he was the killer. I just wanted to throw a wrench into the investigation. Didn't matter if you found out or not. This all happened Monday morning. I left the warehouse around 3:30 a.m.
Saito spoke with grace and no sign of remorse. I was trying to keep my anger from boiling over and kept asking him questions. Why did you take out your victim's eyes?
You know all about the prototype sync machine, don't you? That should explain it.
I know. The prototype machine differed from the one at Abyss in a few key ways. The machine at Abyss is more sophisticated. Nanocables from the sync gear enter through the gap between the eyeball and socket. They then travel down the optic nerve canal into the brain. But the prototype sync machine isn't so advanced. To perform a sync, you need to remove their left eye, manually. The subject and the syncer have to remove their eye from the socket. Otherwise, the cables cannot enter the brain. Of course, even with the eye removed, severing the connection to the brain isn't necessary. The extracted eyeball still has the optic nerve and blood vessels connected. After a sync, the eye is supposed to be replaced back in the eye socket. It's supposed to be safe. Side effects are rare. Unless the nerve or blood vessels are damaged somehow, replacing the eyeball isn't too difficult. Okay.
Of course, I don't really care about eyes. I don't need them. All I cared about was exchanging bodies with the sync. And for that, I needed to remove the left eye.
Why didn't you just put the eyes back when you were done?
That's obvious. Once I was finished transferring into a new body, the old one was of no concern to me. Why would I bother replacing the eye? I was just going to get rid of it anyway.
Why didn't they resist after waking?
Ah, the prototype sync machine has a special feature. It administers a strong dose of sedatives to the original body, and a stimulant to the host after a sync. That kept them docile.
Okay. Why did you display the bodies the way you did?
To harass you. I wanted to bring out the hatred in you. That's why I called Mizuki to Bloom Park. That's why I streamed Iris's murder. Because they were important to you, weren't they? I wanted you to feel cornered, trapped. I wanted to punish you, Kaname Date.
Where are the eyeballs that you removed?
Shoko's is in Renju. Renju's is in Iris. Iris's is in Dad. Dad's is in Boss. Their stomachs, I mean.
That's disgusting.
You sick bastard.
Yes, I ate them. Immediately after exchanging personalities.
Disgusting.
How horrible.
What's your motive?
Homicide is my hobby. I have a tenacity for it, what can I say? Of course, it was also necessary to make sure people kept their mouths shut. If I took over someone's body, they would know about my crimes. I couldn't risk them reporting me, so I killed them. it was also a matter of revenge. Against you. It's personal. That's why I chose people close to you as targets. Well, except for my father, of course.
Oh no. Oh no.
That was personal to me.
I know. I confirmed it.
Don't ask. It's embarrassing.
It's confirmed. Revenge against me.
This series of murders was like a journey for me, you know? Traveling through bodies to finally reach the end. That's the thing about traveling. You always wind up in the same place, don't you? Where do you think that is? Your home. A trip is only complete once you return home. The same goes for me. When I return home, my travels will come to an end. So I'll be needing it back. My body.
What?
You stole my body. You took it from me 6 years ago. That's why I want revenge.
So, what you're saying is, the body we're currently in belongs to Saito Sejima.
What are you talking about?
You have no idea what it was like inside my own head. I miss it. I miss my brain, Date. No matter how many people I killed, it never worked. I never felt happy. I feel miserable.
You mean?
He was born with a brain dysfunction. Due to damage to the posterior pituitary gland, he was unable to properly secrete oxytocin.
Oh, that's right. My old body. How are you finding it, Date?
This body's yours?
That's what I've been telling you!
But I don't have the same oxytocin deficiency you did.
Well...
That is because I regularly supplement it.
Oh. You can do that?
They must have increased your dosage too much.
No, but the person who had this disorder was number 89. The original Cyclops killer.
That is what I believed as well, but we must have misunderstood.
So what you're
Peter
saying...
did not specify who exactly was imprisoned.
So what you're saying is... Number 89 is us. Kaname Date. And the body we're in is Saito Sejima's. Right?
Only that one of the original culprits responsible was currently in prison.
That's strange. That would mean number 89 is the previous chairman, Rohan.
That must be it. Rohan is a parasite inside number 89's brain. Pewter must have known that.
No way.
Right? I was confused. I didn't understand any of it.
Let us determine the specifics using Saito as our starting point. Whose brain was he in before Boss?
So Sejima.
And before So?
Iris. And before that, Renju. And before that, Shoko.
And before Shoko?
Whose body were you in before Shoko?
I was a parasite inside Rohan's brain 6 years ago until last year. I'd lost most of my memories. I was a shell of a man. They housed me in a special hospital, but I still had those fragments of my mind left, just as I explained earlier. From a single piece, you can recreate the whole. I took my time, slowly regaining my memories. 1 year ago, I remembered everything. I left the hospital and immediately sought out Shoko Nadami. I got her body. And she was in Rohan's. When she saw herself in the mirror, she lost her mind. She was confused, panicking, running up the emergency staircase, and then...
And that's when she died.
That's why Rohan committed suicide.
After that, I spent a year perfecting my plan, using Shoko's body. I spied on you all this time. That's why I know everything about you.
Who were you before Rohan?
In that body you are operating right now, in that skull, my personality lived there.
Wait, hold on. If what you're saying is true, what about my personality?
It was in Rohan.
I'm not Rohan!
Correct. It is just as he explained earlier. Number 89 was in Rohan's body. In other words...
Yeah.
Am I real?
There we go, boys. The mystery's solved. Also, that would blow his hand off. I think it'd be better if he had a revolver. That would legit blow his thumb off. And that absolutely explains why at the very beginning of the goddamn game we had a fragment, or we had that memory shit from the start of Hitomi.
Sorry, but time's up. I want my body back. It's quite simple. Sync with me and stay inside my mind for more than 6 minutes.
No.
And if I refuse?
I know that you won't. I know it.
Huh?
Date, look! This is streaming live!
Let me guess. 89. Oh, Hitomi. Oh no. Oh no.
Damn you!
If you give me back my body, I will give you the location.
I already know the location.
Oh, and of course, it isn't the chemical plant in the Kawasaki district.
I don't know the location.
Iva, where's the source?
It is being routed through numerous IPs. I cannot identify the source.
Pewter, contact headquarters, now!
Got it!
Now, what will you do? Will you agree to my request?
A smile of mocking ridicule is on her face. This is really dumb, but I refuse.
Date, I'm hurt. Don't you care about what happens to her?
Not in this timeline. I won't do it.
Do you understand the gravity of this situation?
Do you?
A bomb is strapped to her body.
You're not getting your body back. Anytime fucking soon. Actually, never.
You're too stubborn. Or maybe you're just cold-hearted.
God damn it, game.
Date!
See? I knew you wouldn't refuse. I know you well, don't I, Date?
I bet you it just would have kept, you know, going. It's like, yeah, sure, you refuse. Yeah, sure, you refuse. But do you really refuse?
I did it. I did it. I'm back. I got it all back.
And you're gonna lose it all again.
Where's Hitomi?
All right. I'll tell you as promised. Boss's house. However, it might be too late by now.
What? Why?
Return my body and I'll tell you the location. That's what I said. I didn't lie. I kept my promise.
You bastard!
You're the one who injured that body. It's your own fault, really.
Damn it.
Be seeing you.
Thanks, Iba. So now what? Do we imprison him? Or do we end him right there?
Date, are you alright?
Iba's voice barely resonated. My eyesight was hazy, a heap of broken images. Sweat was building on my palms. It felt like my throat was closing up and I was struggling to breath. Struggling to breathe. In my ears, the rushing blood of my heartbeat was the only sound.
Everyone's dead.
Shoko, Renju, Iris, Ota, Hitomi, Boss. The flesh remains, but the mind is lost.
I couldn't do anything. Saito had me right where he wanted me. Nothing. Nothing.
Parallel worlds exist.
The words suddenly echoed in my head. I couldn't remember who, or where, or why. But I thought that if there really was such a world, then me in that world, is another.
Could I have had a better future?
I prayed that I could. I felt my consciousness sink into a black abyss. Oh. Credits? Credits? Yeah. Oh, this was exactly what I was expecting. I am so glad. Annihilation route end. I picked the annihilation route by accident and it gave me the most information I possibly could have gotten. I am either absolutely stupid or a fucking genius. Oh, that's amazing. All right. The last path. Time to finally bring this to an end. Start investigating day 6 Wednesday. So say I. Proceed. Yeah. Yeah.
You're awake.
Damn it!
I don't think you can release yourself.
Well, do something about it.
What is it you expect me to do?
Come out of my eye socket and get this off of me!
I cannot.
Why not?
My body has short-circuited. It must have been the electric currents from earlier.
Gah.
But fortunately, my communication functions are still operational. I attempted to reach HQ and Abyss personnel for support.
Where the hell are you, Saito?
And?
No response.
They ignored you?
There must be pressure from the higher-ups. Likely a result of Congressman Tsujima's interference.
He thinks I'm investigating Monika's case.
That is not the only reason. So Tsujima holds a personal grudge against you. He wants you dead. That is likely why Pewter is attempting to delete my data.
Are you okay?
For now. But if they breach my final layer of ice, they will destroy me. I would cease to exist.
You're Saito Tsujima.
Oh, so you figured it out.
Renju's body on the ground, without his left eye. You were inside Renju, weren't you? Until just now? You used the machine to exchange minds, then got rid of his body.
Close, but you're a little off. I didn't get rid of the body. He died of natural causes. But what interests me more is you. How do you know you can use the sync machine to exchange minds? The way you're talking makes me think you know why I took out his left eye.
But how? How do I know that? Why do I know that? Why do I know about Saito, the prototype machine, changing personalities?
The current. Did it unlock your memories? Then tell me, this body was originally...
Mine.
That means your body...
This is your body, isn't it, Saito?
The words came out easily. I don't know why. But in a moment of harsh realization, I knew. 89's body is mine, and my body is Saito's.
Well, if you know that much, then this should be easy. Give me back my body.
Where are Iris and Atomi?
Don't worry, I haven't killed them. Yet.
Yet?
The brain you are currently occupying has an interesting quirk. It releases a flood of dopamine and endorphins when it kills. I thought I'd take that brain back before killing those two. In front of you, of course. Which is why I haven't killed them yet. Such beautiful eyes. I was going to begin the sync, but I think I've changed my mind. I want to see you mad. But what will really set you off?
If you don't shut your mouth right now.
All right, talking it is. What should I say? Do you have any questions for me?
It's early Wednesday morning. Shoko was killed last Friday. That was day 1, which makes today day 6. Okay, yeah. What were you doing on Friday? So I had to explain what he did on Friday. 4 a.m. Saito began his plan against Shoko. He called Renju to the abandoned factory and switched bodies with him. After taking Renju's body, Saito killed Shoko, then brought the body to Bloom Park. But as he explained it to me, I somehow felt that I already knew. Didn't understand why. I felt like it was being etched into my brain. Saturday.
I was still in Renju's body. My next target was Iris. If I asked her to come to the abandoned factory, I knew she would be skeptical, so I called her to Sunfish Pocket. I even video called her, but for some reason, she said no. This was around 5 p.m. I was still Renju, the president of Lemniscate.
Welcome back. You missed a bunch.
I didn't think I would have any trouble getting her to trust me, but...
Date, do you remember? Saturday evening after syncing with Mizuki. Inside the Somnium, you thought you saw Iris's body, so you called her. The time was 4:52 p.m., right before Renju called Iris. You told her.
Okay, don't go anywhere. Lock the door and stay at home.
Iris didn't accept Saito's proposition because of your warning. If you did not warn her...
She would have been taken here.
I decided to pick her up in Renju's car.
Oh, well then, shit.
I thought that if she saw me in person, she would trust me.
You missed a lot. Like a whole bunch.
However...
You got in an accident around 6:10 p.m. and lost consciousness.
So unlucky. My plans were ruined, but my ultimate goal is still achievable. So it's all good.
But day 3.
After the accident, my body was taken to Central Hospital. I regained consciousness just past 12 a.m. Sunday. The surgery was a success, but Renju's organs were in a horrible state. But I had somewhere to be. I left the hospital, rented a car, and headed to Iris's house.
I know what happened after that. You got to the Sagan household at 2 a.m. You pushed the intercom button.
He was sweating buckets and he came up to me with this begging look in his eyes. He said, "Come with me."
You got Iris to come with you, but when you tried to bring her here...
I got scared. I pulled my hand away and ran.
Oh, you know that too? But you're exactly right. I was planning to put her to sleep in the car, but I didn't have my drugs on me. The sleeping pills were inside Renju's crushed car. I was pushing my luck. My plan and my body were both in shambles. I'm sure the painkillers were affecting me as well. My mind was scrambled, and I couldn't think straight. I couldn't chase after her. I needed to sleep. I managed to make it back here and collapsed on the ground. Next thing I knew, it was the next day. I woke up around noon on Monday. Renju's body was about to expire.
But what do you mean, expire?
By
That's what I'm
Monday,
wondering.
Renju's body was almost completely dead. And of course, my consciousness as well. That's when I got a call from a Mr. Amanoma. The man you call Pewter.
I knew the story after that.
The boss told me that number 89 was coming. Then, Renju asked, "Is there any way we can let number 89 escape?"
So Peter came up with a plan to help 89 escape. Rohan, as 89 got in the car with Saito, it was Renju, and fled from the police. Wait, that's wrong. What? Wait. Okay, so no, Rohan was in 89's body. It was prior to Rohan's body actually dying.